Escape from Tarkov is arguably one of the hardest first-person shooters out there. Loot in Escape from Tarkov is worth a lot and helps you get the necessities like guns, health, and among other things. In today's video, I'll be showing you the best maps for scav runs and to help you get that peak Chad level loot to get them rubles for your PMC. I'll be rating the maps based on PMC Factor, player scav factor, and loot consistency. By the end of this video, you'll be able to figure out which map will be best suited for you and your playstyle, so stick around. Also, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. The video took a lot of work and it would help me out so much. I did 4 scav runs and I calculated everything and put everything into consideration. I did loot consistency, player scav consistency, and PMC consistency. So without further ado, let's get into the first map, which is Shoreline. So first Shoreline run, I've made over 400k. Second Shoreline run, over 300k. Third Shoreline run, almost 400k. Fourth Shoreline run, over 400k. So Shoreline, I had an average of over 400k rubles. So now for loot consistency. Shoreline, I give it 4.5 Chad. The loot on there is pretty consistent depending on if there is scavs already loaded in before you. PMCs are immediately going to resort to do quests, to do PvP and stuff. They're not really going out and going around looting most of the time, unless you have those occasional PMCs that are trying to snipe or that are trying to do their task to kill scavs with the UTAR armor. But the reason why I didn't give it a 5 is because, like I said before, there was times I would go to stashes and they would have already been looted. The 2 safes in the little pier area, they would already be looted. I also sometimes go to the safes at weather station, and most of the time that's looted, like probably 95% of the time that's looted, because that's on the way to resort or people get close spawns by it. So the next thing we're gonna be talking about for each map is PMC factor. 0 Chads is gonna be rarely seeing PMCs on the map. Up to 5 Chads, which is gonna be you're gonna see a PMC regardless of where you fucking go. So for the first map, Shoreline, I would give that half a Chad. The reason why I would give that half a Chad is just due to the fact that sometimes you'll see PMCs because it is a scav killing map for a lot of quests early on. So you might see a PMC trying to kill scavs. You might see sniper PMCs, because that's most of the people I've seen on scav runs whenever I've gotten killed, is people that are sniping. There's a lot of good sniper points on the map. I'll put up some decent areas where people will probably be sniping from, or you gotta probably look out for. But yeah, Shoreline is a really good map for not seeing PMCs a lot, and if you just want to leisurely walk around without having to worry about PMCs just coming up to you and fucking you in the ass. So yeah, I would recommend Shoreline if you do not want to see any PMCs or do not want to PvP PMCs. Now we're gonna go into player scav factor. Starting off with Shoreline, you're not gonna see a fucking player scav a lot. Shoreline has probably the friendliest player scavs I've ever met. Like, I literally gave the dude a teapot and he fucking shook his head no and ran away. I run around the whole map half the time and I fucking barely ever see one. Factory, first run, I got killed by PMC. Second run, made over 100k. Third run, I made over 70k. And fourth run, got killed by PMC. Factory, it's really low, 59,000 rubles. Factory, I would give it a loot consistency of 1 Chad. That's not consistent at all. Every time I tried looking in spots that people say, oh, you can find armor here, oh, you can find this and that here, did not find anything. Safe was usually picked clean, dead scavs that had pretty much nothing, and you'd get occasional dead PMCs. It wasn't like anything too crazy, and sometimes you'll find Tagila stuff, but most of the time PMCs or other scavs will load in before you and take that stuff. So it's kind of like, it's inconsistent. A lot of the loot on Factory is inconsistent. Factory, I would give it probably 3 Chads. There is a high percentage you're gonna see PMCs. I got killed twice by PMCs. A lot of times people go on Factory just to get quick kills or quick scav kills. So yeah, if you want decent PvP with PMCs that aren't as decked or will be decked as fuck, then just go on Factory. Factory, you will see a lot of player scavs. I give it 4 Chads. A lot of times the player scavs are just running around trying to like find the scraps, which isn't going to give you shit because most of the time it's already picked over. It's just an ass map to do a scav. I don't know why the fuck you. Interchange, first run got 300k, got killed by PMC. Second run, third run I got over 400k, and then fourth run I got over 100k. Interchange, I would give a 3.5 Chads. It's up there. It's a pretty good map to do scav runs on due to the fact that the loot is pretty consistent. Not a lot of people loot a lot of the stashes like on the outskirts of Interchange, and inside you can still find a lot of good stuff on the inside. Like in the back of Goshen, people really don't loot that place, which surprises me because you find a lot of high tier industrial loot like ratchets, pipe grip wrenches, thermite, dry fuel, propane fuel, and there's this part in the back of Aldi that you can find water filters, helixes, more fuel, propane, and everything up along those lines. A lot of the stashes are looted too, especially by power station where a lot of people spawn. Sometimes the purple briefcases are looted, but most of the time they're not because people aren't really going near Scav camp or that highway. Interchange, I give it a 2 Chad, and Interchange, you will see some PMCs. It's just mostly dependent on where you're trying to go. Like if you're trying to just camp fucking Kiba, then you're probably going to see a PMC. And what most of the time happens is you'll get extract camped. A lot of PMCs like the extract camp on Interchange just due to the fact that people will run out. Like PMCs and scavs will run out with decent loot and they're just waiting for people to bring them loot. I remember me and Josh were doing it where we were on top of the little metal thing above one of the ramps, and we'd wait till people came out and we'd snipe them and then we'd grab their loot and just dip. And that's how it mostly is. People extract camp a lot on Interchange, so you have to be careful of that. Interchange, I'm giving a 5 Chad. It is the most player scavs I've seen. Every single place I've like ran through, been through, it's just player scav with another player scav or just a random ass player scav, and a lot of times it's a mix of being friendly and not friendly. Woods, I got first run over 200k, second run over 300k. I don't know why, but that should be over 500k because I don't know where that money went. I think I bought something maybe. And fourth run I got over 100k. I was surprised by the amount of consistent loot that you can find on Woods. I gave it 4 Chads just due to the fact that I was finding consistent loot, and that I could pretty much grab a lot of stuff that was like pretty good. Like I found Golden Rooster, Moonshine, fuel tanks, scopes, among other things. Like it's a really decent map, especially in loot consistency. Woods, I give it a 1. I have been shot at twice in different raids for Woods, and a lot of times people are sniping. Woods is a heavily forested map, so it's like it's hard to fucking see people. It's one of those maps that you can just like leisurely go on, but sometimes you like be on alert because some PMCs do like to camp some areas. Woods, I give it half a Chad. The reason why I give it half a Chad is I only saw like 1 player scav the whole entire time I was on it. It was crazy. I ended up killing him because he was a trader scav, so he was geared as fuck. That's how I got that fucking 500k plus fucking loot run. Customs, you can see I just died every time. Customs, I'd give it a 4 Chad. A lot of times you're gonna see me at dorms or just randomly running around the map trying to extract. Most of the time I got killed by PMCs on customs, but the reason why I'd give it a 4.5 or a 5 is because player scavs are probably just as prevalent or as deadly as PMCs. Reserve, first run got over 100k, second run got killed by PMC in bunker, third run got over 200k, and fourth run I got over 400k. I'd give it 2.5 Chads. You won't see a lot of PMCs on reserve. It's just mostly player scavs running around trying to loot the remains of stuff or try to pick up some quick loot because everyone's like,
"Ooh, reserve loot is buff. Come and grab it."
Everyone has already grabbed it just due to the fact that everyone makes a video every other fucking week about how reserve loot is the best. Reserve, I'm giving a 4 just due to the fact that people have made a lot of videos on reserve and how the loot on reserve is buffed. So a lot of player scavs are going on there picking over the stuff. I had some encounters with unfriendly player scavs, and they're mostly like really territorial over the bunker or loot that they find. So yeah, it's one of those maps that you will probably most likely see a player scav. The moment you've all been waiting for, the raiding. For my first map, I say the best map, in my opinion, is Shoreline. It's my favorite map. It's been my favorite map. It shocked me. I was surprised. I thought, because I watched a video on it and I was surprised. I was like, oh, it's probably one of those other ones that is like a clickbaity thing where it's like, oh, run this map and you'll get 6 million rubles in the next 5 seconds. Like, you know, those fucking porn ads that are like,
don't click this, you'll come instantly.
Second place is definitely Woods. I was surprised. I honestly thought it was going to be Shoreline, then Interchange, or Shoreline, then Reserve. I wasn't expecting to be Woods. Woods surprised me just due to the fact that it has a lot of consistent loot everywhere, and you rarely run into anyone. It's just like exactly like Shoreline. I honestly think third place goes to Interchange. Interchange is one of those maps that is smaller. You can find more consistent loot than Reserve because everyone's on Reserve because it's one of those maps that people dick suck the fuck out of. All right, number 4 is Reserve. Might get some hate for that, but Reserve, it's just too inconsistent with finding loot. Fifth place has to go to customs. I know I died every single time on customs, but it might have just been bad luck that time. I don't know. Because I did 4 and I still died by 3 PMCs and a scav. So it's just like, I think it does have better loot than factory because you can loot different parts of it, like the warehouse parts of it, and you'll probably make so much more money than running factory. Last but not least, 6th place, factory. Heard Josh likes factory just because it's PvP based scav shit. You can get Tagilla's loot, which, in my opinion, you're just gaining nothing if you're doing that, because you're gonna be looking for him. You're either gonna die trying to kill him, or you're gonna lose a lot of scav rep trying to kill him or find him, and you're gonna gain nothing. If you go on Shoreline, the amount of times you go on factory, you're probably gonna be 10 times better off if you just go on Shoreline. Thank you all for watching this video. I appreciate it if you would leave a like and subscribe. This video took a lot of work. It took me almost 3 days to complete, especially doing all the scav runs and stuff like that. Yeah, just leave a comment in your opinion what you think is the best map that you can run, and if you want, you can argue some of my points. Say,
oh, but if you do all these factory things, you will get over 1 million rubles or some shit.
I lost my mind and I'm never going back. Close my eyes, all I see is money back. Ay. Fuck my life, I won't never get it back. Ay. Fuck these hoes, I won't never get attached. I done lost my mind. Ay. I done lost my mind, I ain't never going back. I done lost my mind.